start our class 3. The class 3 is more about telling you about different file systems in Linux operating systems and what is the purpose of each file system and where are they located. Uh, Start from Windows because most of the people over here have been using Windows all their life, and Windows have been their standard operating system. So I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions related to Windows so that you can understand as well that okay, this is how the Windows are and this is how Linux would be. I'm just gonna try to make a comparison so that you guys understand me more. Okay, so who can tell me that in what place in your system you can add uh, can you change the settings of the system?
Control panel.
Control panel. This is for settings. Where do you install softwares? Where do I install all the applications?
Device and printers. You would add
Oh,
them.
that is for my physical devices. Where do I install my programs, like my applications? Where do they get installed? So inside C, you guys might have seen C. I'll show you right now. Please mute yourself. Okay, so inside C, this is my computer right here. If you see right here, and inside C, program files, these are all my softwares on my computer. Okay, so it means that inside C, there is program files where there's a folder called program files where I install my all softwares, etc. Where do I install my operating system? Of course, it is installed in C, right? Then after that, where do I uh, configure all the devices? If I want to configure a new device, where would I configure a new device? In Device Manager, right? Then, for example, if I am trying to look for errors, where would I look for errors for my computer? Errors for my computer. Anyone? Hello? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah.
So where would you look for errors in your computer? For example, you get an error. Where would you look for it?
Would be in like the log, the event log.
Yeah, event log. But
Okay.
where that event log is gonna be? Like, do you know where to find the event log in in Windows?
In admin tools,
You're good at Google.
administrative tools. I know. I'm just trying to give you an answer so somebody talks.
Okay. So if you right click on uh, my computer and if you click on manage, you will get this kind of window. Okay, if you right click on your computer and right click and then click on manage, you will find this window. Over here there are different kind of event viewers. If I click right here, so there are window logs, application logs, security logs, setup logs, system log, forwarded logs. Then there are services logs. There are some custom logs as well. So system logs are basically going to show up if there are any errors inside my system. They're going to show up right here. If there is any security breach in my system, it is going to show up right here. For example, you log into the server. For example, you log into the Windows and you did the wrong password. Each time you put the wrong password in, it's going to note it down. So application log, if any application crashed down, if any application, did not work properly, it's gonna, pretty much write that down, that that application ran at this time and this is what happened, all these kind of things. So there are some programs that have their own log files, so we don't worry about these a lot though. So in Windows, what I'm trying to relate at is that in Windows you click on each folder or a directory. You click on different folders to do different kind of settings, right? You launch different applications to do settings, installations, view any kind of information. All these are somewhere in Windows. In the same way, Red Hat Linux operating system is designed. Red Hat Linux system is based on files and directories. Okay, so Red Hat now, since you are coming on Red Hat Word now, you guys are gonna have to stop using the Word folder. Okay, the Word folder is being replaced by a Word directory inside Red Hat Linux Word. You are not gonna use ever or say that please go to that folder. You're gonna say please go to that directory. Otherwise, both are same thing. In Red Hat Linux operating system, there are many file systems. Okay, now I'm going to put that picture in front of you. Okay, so this is how a Red Hat Linux operating system could look like. Okay, now it looks a little bit different from like Microsoft Windows, but for example, this whole folder is equivalent of your C drive in your Microsoft Windows. This folder is equivalent of your control panel. Okay, then this folder is equivalent of your event log. All right, then temporary TMP is for your temporary files. Then slash this USR is used for installing the applications. In the same way, dev device, basically device, all the devices are configured in this one. Now, what is the purpose of all the rest of these? Now we're gonna go back to that. So a inside slash, which is called your root file system. This is the file system where your operating system is installed. Inside the slash root file system, there is a directory called slash etc. Now, whatever the directory which is directly inside slash etc, which means that if you click on slash and you find slash etc, if you find the etc directory, so we are always going to use slash etc with it. If you, for example, you further click etc and you find a folder called ABC, you are not going to use slash with that folder. Okay? Did you get my point?
No, actually, could you go over that one more time?
Okay, I'm going to go over one more time. For example, I clicked on this folder. I double clicked and I can see all these folders. Sorry, my mouse is acting up today. Okay, so I can see all these folders. What happened to my mouse today? I'm going to do straight line and okay, so these are all the folders. Okay, I double clicked on this one. You'll be able to see slash bin. You'll be able to see slash boot, slash dev, slash etc, slash home, slash root, slash run, slash sbin, slash tmp, slash usr, and slash var. For example, I went into slash var. I double clicked on slash var right here. Then I will come to see that there is a tmp folder in slash var. So this tmp folder is only tmp, but this tmp folder is slash tmp. Both are different than each other. This is different slash tmp and this is different tmp. And if I go into slash usr, this tmp and this tmp have a link between each other. Okay? Understood?
Yeah, I get it.
In the same way, this slash bin is different than this bin. This slash bin is different than this slash bin. They are going to have a link between each other. So they are gonna store same data, but if you type directly slash bin, your system is going to think that you are talking about the bin which is directly present inside slash. If you type slash tmp, your computer is going to think that you are talking about the tmp which is directly present inside slash, not this tmp, not this tmp. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what I'm going to get at is what is bin used for? Now, what is bin used for?
The trash?
No, this is not exactly what it means, but I'm gonna show it to you. Hold on. I have my notes. I have to send it out to you. I just did not get time today. I was very busy. So these are some stuff which I have written. So I'll send it out to you. So this is how a system looks like. Okay. If I talk about my system inside the root directory of the entire file system, this is how the hierarchy looks like. Slash bin is basically, for example, how many of you are aware of a command called, in Windows, there is a command called ipconfig.
Yes, I'm familiar with that.
How many of you are familiar with ping command, ping?
Yeah, I'm familiar with ping.
Okay, so if you open your DOS command prompt, which means that you click on start and you type cmd. You click on your start and type cmd and press enter. Your DOS command prompt will open like this, right? So if you type cmd and open command prompt, your black screen opens, which is called DOS command prompt. So if I type command ping google.com, I'm going to get a reply that I am getting 100% ping from Google. Okay. This ping command is a binary command that was allowed to me as a user, which is right now I'm is A Iqbal. I'm a user, A Iqbal. There is a directory called bin slash bin. In that slash bin, there are certain programs that I am allowed to run in order to attain my task. So those programs are called binary commands. So over here in Windows, there is also a binary where ping command is stored. Okay, so whenever I use whenever I execute any command in Windows, that command refers back to this directory whether this command is present or not. For example, if I say ifconfig, this command is not recognized, so it went back to that directory, checked whether this command is there or not. Okay, so it was not there, it will give you that result that it's not there. When I say ipconfig, that command is there, so it let you run that command. Okay, in the same way, slash boot, the name refers to it that it is a bootloader. What do I mean by bootloader? For example, your computer without the hard drive, if you powered it on, like for example, if you want to power your computer, your hard drive is taken out. What will happen? Does anyone have any idea? So if I take out the hard drive, okay, what will happen? The bootloader of my computer, okay, the bootloader of my, which is BIOS, okay, BIOS will try to find out a boot device, okay, from where am going to boot. This slash boot directory is going to keep that file, a file, static file, which keeps the information that what hard drive has the operating system installed on it, what peripheral devices have been connected since the last reboot. For example, sometimes you turn off your laptop with the pen drive in it. Okay, so next time whenever you turn on your laptop, your system will look for that pen drive, and then it will say sometimes that Windows did not shut down properly. Okay, so it will ask for a scan, and then after that, basically it does what it does is basically in the backend, it runs for all the scans for all the peripheral devices that have been connected, your mouse, your keyboard, everything. All these devices information, what hard drive it's gonna boot from, all this kind of information are stored in slash boot. Then slash dev is basically the device files. In these files, all the configurations for all the devices are stored. For example, you have a new Bluetooth mouse attached to the server. Your mouse will have information stored in slash dev that this is a device that exists. You configure new printers, you configure any kind of iPhone, anything like that, your devices you attach to your system, they're all stored in slash dev. Slash etc, any configuration related to the server. Okay. For example, program file is used for configuration related to the Windows. In the same way, any configuration, your network configuration, your user configuration, your any configuration that you're going to do, that is going to be stored in slash etc. Slash home. Do you know that you can create multiple users in Windows? How many of you know that you can create multiple users in Windows?
Yeah, I know that. It's like when they ask you to in the beginning which users using the computer, and then you put in your password.
Yep, exactly. So at the start of the screen, there are like multiple users. For example, you can create a guest user account, you can create an administrative user account, you can create a normal user account. Okay, so whenever you log on, okay, it asks you for a password, and whenever you log in, it prompts you for when you go to my documents, there is a directory with your own name like this right here. Okay, like S and Iqbal. This is my directory right now. Okay, which is inside my documents. So in the same way, what happens is that your directories are also created inside slash home. Okay, inside slash home, your home, a user home directory is created that belongs to that user. Okay, then slash lib. Uh, I'm gonna take it this way. For example, you, uh, for example, you go to a calculator. You guys might have used the TI-89 calculator. Okay, so if you have not, that's fine. So if you do the calculator, you say 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, your calculator is not that smart enough. Okay, in the library of that calculator, you store that how the plus operation works. So in the same way, if you will execute any command in Red Hat Linux operating system, it will go back to the library and will try to find out that what other libraries are there, and using those libraries, it will try to execute your particular stuff. Then slash media. For example, you attach a pen drive, you attach a DVD-ROM, you insert a DVD inside your computer. It comes under slash E most of the time, like it's a removable drive or something like that. Removable devices, it comes under that. In the same way, slash media is used for uh, all the temporary devices that you attach to your computer, and those are removable devices. Okay. For example, in my computer right now, I have a CD drive, E drive, and I have a DVD drive, D. Okay. These are my removable drives. Then there is a network drive right now, and there is a portable drive. So slash media stores all these informations. Then slash MNT. Slash MNT is basically used for temporarily mounted mount points. What are those mount points? I will explain you that. For example, whenever you attach an iPhone to your computer, an icon is created, for example, which is basically your iPhone. If you click on it, you basically get into your iPhone. This is a temporarily created folder. You can say this is temporarily created directory. And in Linux world, it will be known as temporarily created mount point, where your directory is being created and there is a data in it. Slash opt is an optional application software package folder. If you want it, you can configure it. If you don't want it, you don't want to do it. Now, coming back to sbin and slash bin. They are very close to each other, but the difference only between bin and sbin is if any binaries that are being executed by a human, a person who logs in into the system and executes any commands, they are going to be stored in slash bin. But sometimes your server automatically keeps on doing some processes in the backend, which you never know of. So those processes are run in slash sbin, and those processes are run by system users, by system only. Okay, so those are called as system binaries. Slash srv data for the services provided by the system, any kind of services. For example, you are having network service going. Let me right click on my control panel. Start manager, sorry. If I click, this is my task manager. If I click on services, these are all the services which I never even think of that these services are running in my backend computer. Okay, but these services are basically used for doing a lot of different, a lot of different programs. For example, this Apple service is running Apple mobile device service. If I disable this service right now, if I stop this service right now, the iPhone which I was having connected to my computer right now, it will immediately stop working. Like it will immediately disappear because I stopped the service in the background. Okay. In the same way, /tmp is a temporary files which you download, and in the same way as the download folder. /usr, basically all the utilities and applications that are being installed right here. /vars, all the variable files, which means by that all the log files, event logs are stored in /var. Now before explaining this /root, I'll go to this /proc. /proc is used for containing all the kernel informations and processes status as a text file. For example, all the processes are running in the system. It will store all those processes in the form of text file. Now I'm going to come back to /root. In Linux operating system, there are two kind of users. One are the users called normal users. Actually, three kind of users. One are called normal user, one are called system users, and third are called root users or super users. Root user is a user, ROOT root user. Root user is a user who is administrator of your Linux operating system. Okay, who's an administrator on the Linux operating system. Normal user is a user who does not have any configuration privileges. He has limited access to each file or directory, and those privileges are being set by the root user. Root user decides what a user can access or what he cannot. Now, super user. What is a super user? I'll explain you in a way that, for example, uh, if I am your manager, okay, and there is a director above me, and now the manager has all the privileges what a director has, but director has some additional privileges which manager does not have. Okay, so root user assigns a super user in the computer so that he does not have to share his all capabilities with that user, but he acts like a super user, a root user, as an admin of the user. You are as admin of the server, and you are going to be super user all the time. Okay, so be sure whenever you are a super user in a server, you very carefully execute any command, because if you do a mistake, there is no way back in the Linux operating system. So if you do any mistake, you might have to pretty much restore the system from previous backup or something like that. So this was like all the hierarchy of the Unix file system. And reason why I explained you this Unix file system or Linux file system, because no one is going to tell you this thing. Now, my important notes are these notes. You don't have to worry about all these files at the moment, but as soon as we go into more details, deep, you will know that these files were useful. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go back to my VMware workstation. So this is the empty, container I created. Empty guest machine, you can say. VMware names these virtual machine as guest machines. They are the guest on the system. They are not like the owner of the system. So in order to install the operating system, I'm going to click on Edit Virtual Disk, and then after that, click on this, and where CD DVD says over there, I'm going to use ISO image file. Click on Browse. Browse where you downloaded the stuff. Okay. So for example, if I click on download, I have a lot of things. Yeah. Okay. I sometimes get surprised. So okay, so I'm going to use Red Hat Server 7.2 DVD. I'm going to share this DVD link with you guys soon after this class so that you can download this DVD as well. Click on open and click on OK. Now power it on. Your virtual machine will boot from the disk. So I'm going, if I do top and you on your keyboard, there's up and down arrow. I'm doing that right now. So I want to install the Red Hat Linux operating system, which is in white right now. So I will click on that. So now the DVD is being loaded and I'm going to install my Red Hat Linux operating system. Any questions so far right now? There's a lot of silence in the house.
No, I'm good.
I'm good. Just focused.
Okay. So right now it's automatically loading the DVD and it's trying to, unload, basically extract all those programs. In real environment, you guys have to be very careful what words, what language are you speaking, by the way, because by the click of one word, they are gonna understand how much experience do you have. If you pretty much keep what you are being asked or do what you are being asked, that's all it matters. Okay. Other than that, it's very you don't have to push yourself under the bus. So now I'm going to start. Welcome to Red Hat Enterprise 7.2. Language is English, US English. There are a lot of Englishes in there. I don't know. I wonder what would be the difference between this and this. So, anyways, click continue. Okay. So now over here, just wait for like 2-3 seconds. Okay. See, now this media has been cleared now. What I'm going to do over here is right now, I'm going to click this option. There are many kind of options as we spoke the very first day in our class. Like for example, there is a file server, there is a print server, there is a development server, there is a security server, a lot of different servers we talked about that day. So what we are going to install today is server with a graphical user interface. So if you remember, there is a DNS server we talked about. We talked about the file server. We talked about a lot of different kind of servers. What is this? Why this is asking that what kind of server I want to create? Because it is going to install those softwares, pre-install those softwares automatically for me. I'm not. These are like the base environments. Then after that, these are the add-ons. I don't worry about the add-ons at the moment because I don't want to deal with those add-on at the moment. So click on OK, done. So now it is again gonna check whether my software is gonna be able to give me that utility or not. Then after that, installation destination. Where do you want to install it? Click on this and click on this and done. So it will start configure and after that begin installation. In the process while the installation is going on, I'll set up my root password. It should be minimum 8 digits long and not any library or dictionary word. So I'm going to set up my password. I'm going to have a root user account, then I'm going to create a normal user. So see, I said S Iqbal and it created the A Iqbal user automatically. If you wish to change, you can always change it, but I'm just going to keep it like that. Click on done. In the meanwhile, it is so right now you can see that 101/1239. What is happening is basically it has installed those many programs out of those many programs. In Red Hat Linux operating system word, you are going to not going to use program word. You're going to use I'm going to install this application or I'm going to install these packages. Okay? Any software that is supposed to be installed on Linux operating system, you're gonna say, okay, I'll install these packages on the Linux operating system. Do not ever say, okay, I'll install this software. No, you do not say that ever. Okay, so now you can see that the hard drive came up. Then after that, it's gonna boot up to the system. So I'm not going to do this part at the moment. I'm gonna just quit and click yes. My server will be rebooted again. So now you can see my desktop is appeared now. So I'm going to click on not listed root and then my password. Now you can see I logged into a whole different computer which is independent of your Windows. Not forever. You are making English. What happened? Where did the normal English go? Okay, so now if you might be able to see that it looks like Mac. Okay, so if you click on this button, this pretty much looks like that. And then if I click on home, then desktop right now, there's nothing on the desktop right now. If I click on my computer, which is pretty much the slash directory, you'll be able to see all those directories which I have been telling you about. So if you click on bin right here, you will be able to see a lot of different, programs that are being installed on my computer. So, for example, if I click on PING, so you can see Ping is the program which is right here, right now. So in the same way, there are different programs that are different in the different directories right now. So this is like my graphical user interface, which is like very graphical, very easy to understand, very easy to navigate around. But in real environment, you're not going to have graphical interface. You are going to have a black and white screen, which is going to be like this. So now the real fun part begins that you have to like I'm going to start teaching you all the commands, how to navigate around the system and how to understand which directory are you in and how you can troubleshoot yourself that what are you going to do next. So that would be it for tonight's class. And this week we did introduction to IT infrastructure. We did the networking concepts. We did study about how our networks work. We studied about types of Linux file systems. We studied about different the whole hierarchy of the Linux file system, and we installed one of the first ways of installing Red Hat Linux operating system. Next week we are gonna take it from here. What do I expect in the meanwhile from you are leaving